Let me see here. All right, so on Instagram, now I'm gonna take some questions off my Instagram. My Instagram is the real Boyce Watkins. Some questions that I see here are, hey doc, what platform should I use to create my website and courses for my business? It really depends. I mean, sometimes people just set up with a Facebook page. Sometimes they set up with with a full-blown website. Sometimes you can use something like Lead Pages. We actually have a whole program on stuff like that. It's blackmoney103.com. If you go to blackmoney103.com, we actually break all that down, branding, setting things up. I explained how I was actually able to sell tens of thousands of books without even getting a book deal. I never got a book deal, but I was able to sell a lot of books that way. It's better to do things independent nowadays. Hey, Doc, how do I start investing for passive income in the stock market? It kind of depends on how you look at it. I mean, some people buy dividend paying stocks. I'm not real big on that just because I just don't really believe that dividend paying stocks are that much better than non-dividend paying stocks. I mean, if you want to get money, if you want to get liquidity, you could just sell. But at the same time, I know there's some people who have a different philosophy on that. I think I don't really see the stock market as a place for a lot of passive income, especially if you're a beginner. To me, the best options for passive income are doing things like, starting a side hustle, like, a side hustle that can get you some passive income, in the, first 2 or 3 months. That's 100 times better than having to buy enough stock to really give you a lot, the kind of dividend levels that are really going to make a difference in your budget. So I really think that the best financial play, if you're a person that's really trying to make, a decent amount of money in a short period of time, I just really believe, I'm a big believer in entrepreneurship. I just really think having your own business, or even if it's a side business, is a really good way to go. That's far more efficient than trying to buy $1 million worth of stock so that you can get like a tiny amount in dividends. Like, for example, I had one company where I owned, I think $10,000 worth of stock or something. And I got a dividend check, and the dividend check was like, $200 or something. I don't remember what it was. It was very small. And I was like, in order for me to really get a decent amount of money from the dividend, I'd actually have to own a ton of this stock. So, I'm just a believer that if you're really trying to get passive income, get you like a side hustle, man. The side hustle market, that's the best way to make that money. Andre C. Hatchett has the Black Notary School. That's really great. Danielle Pierce at economicelevation.com. That's her site, economicelevation.com. She has, a whole booklet on a bunch of different ways to make an extra $1,000, $2,000 a month. That's a great start to like really balance your budget and get ahead financially. So I would look into stuff like that. I wouldn't get caught up in trying to own $1 trillion worth of stock. Let's see here. This is another question on my Instagram. Do you think white people are a test that black people cast on himself to raise consciousness? Okay, I don't even know what that question means. I'm sorry, man. That don't make no sense. Astron Gone says, you'll love my book, which is businessintheblack.net. Okay, businessintheblack.net. Check it out. Why are real black women so rare? I don't think they're rare. I think that maybe that's been your experience, but I don't think I wouldn't consider them rare. But I do think, there is a difference between real black women and not so real women, at least in my opinion. But then again, what's real and what's not is, in the eye of the beholder. Question for tonight: when starting an investment group, what are the top 3 things to do to protect each individual financially? Well, contracts are good. I think documentation and transparency are good. So documenting things, having contracts, and being transparent with the money. When you're dealing with people's money, you really don't want to, keep secrets. I really think that if you're, I don't know. Give me a second here. Yeah, I will say that, one of the things, when I remember when Umar was raising money for his school, one of the big objections I had, to how it was being done was I didn't like the transparency. I kind of felt like the lack of transparency was causing a lack of trust. I think it was causing people to legitimately have concerns about where their money was going. And you're not a hater for bringing that up. You're not a hater for asking that question. You're not a hater for, bringing that issue to light. And I think that, that this sort of emotional overreaction that you sometimes see from people who get mad because you ask a question I don't think that's rational. I don't think that's good business. So and in fact, I think a lot of his particular issues could have been avoided had there been some documentation. Had there been like a committee put together to say this is where the money is, this is what we're doing. So anybody who asked those questions, who was kind of shouted down for asking those questions, you have a right to ask questions. You have a right to ask where your money went. So I would say if you form a group with anybody, with other people, try to have some transparency. I don't like to do a lot of financial deals with people, but one of the requirements I have when I do a deal is, is everybody going to have access to the information? I'll tell you a story. I did a deal with a guy named Tony White in California, who's a filmmaker out there. And I wasn't real happy with the outcome of this deal. And I remember one of the reasons that he and I had a real big blow up with each other, to the point where I was really upset, is that when I started asking questions about the money, he wouldn't answer my questions. He wasn't giving me straight answers. He wasn't letting me see documentation. He wasn't giving me what I needed in order to feel comfortable about where my money was going. So I remember it became kind of nasty, and it's just kind of like, you can't do that. And I'm gonna tell you, if you ever do business and somebody, gets to the point where when you're asking questions like, hey, why do we spend money on this? Or where's the money for that? Or can I see a receipt for this or for that? And they start acting funny and shady, and they start saying, well, don't you worry about that or whatever, then you walk away from that deal. Don't do a deal with somebody who won't tell you where the money's going, because that's not a good sign, honestly. Let me see here. Can you speak on the creation of private equity funds in the community? I think private equity funds are good. I don't have one. I haven't created one. I will say that, private equity, basically, people pulling together their money and, investing as a group. I think it's a good thing. I think Jay Morrison's fund I like the Tulsa fund. I'm an investor. I'm glad to be an investor. I support Jay and what he's working on. And I think it's beneficial to the community. Now, is it going to work out? I don't know. I don't know if it may lose money. It may go bankrupt. I hope it doesn't, but it happens, right? And something going bankrupt. One thing you should know about business is that just because something doesn't work out doesn't mean you made a bad choice. It's just like if you play quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, sometimes you throw passes and sometimes the passes are incompletions. Or if you're a basketball player, sometimes you take shots and sometimes they miss. And so don't think that because somebody does something and it doesn't work out that they made a bad decision. Sometimes good decisions don't work out. Why do you hate Umar? That's a stupid question, Tiffany. Why do you hate me? Do you hate me? Are you asking that question because you hate me, or are you asking that question because you want to know? Well, if you're saying I hate him because I'm asking a question, then that means you must hate me because you're asking a question. But you would probably say you don't hate me, you're just asking a question. Well, I would say the same thing in regards to Umar or anybody else. Just because it's not about hating. Like, that's the problem with black folks. Y'all get too fucking emotional about shit and you don't actually know how to do business. Seriously, you run in and you're like, you a hater. That's why you can't get ahead, because you're spending all your damn time acting like children. Seriously, we got some 45-year-old teenagers out in this mug. And that's why y'all can't get ahead, because you out here calling everybody a hater because they're asking you to do legitimate business or they're bringing up legitimate issues. So if you want to know, just to be clear, anybody I bring up on my channel, anybody I talk about, most of those people have my phone number. And if any of those people ever want to talk to me directly, they can call me, including Umar. And I don't even want to spend a lot of time talking about him because it's not relevant to the discussion, but he's had my number for 5 years. So now if I was a punk, if I was like out here just hating on somebody, then they couldn't pick up the phone and call me and have a man-to-man conversation. So if he or anybody ever wants to talk to me, they have my phone number, right? I would wonder why you wouldn't call me. If somebody has an issue with what I said, why would we settle it all on the internet? Like, oh, I don't like Boyce Watkins. Boyce Watkins said this about me. Well, call me. You got my number. Call me. And that goes for anybody. Now, Tiffany, you're a hater. I'm not going to answer no more of your questions. So you can hang out if you want to, but I can tell what your MO is. I'm not going to waste good time with your nonsense. All right, so let's see here. Bronx Kingston says, are you a simp? I don't even know what that means. You sound like a simp. Do you regret helping Yvette Carnell? Do I regret it? It wasn't a good choice in hindsight, but I don't regret helping anybody. One of the things I've been ridiculed for is helping people and then being screwed because of it. And I've had people tell me, you got to stop helping black people because black people are crazy. They'll use you, and then they'll come back and they'll stab you in the back. And that I don't believe that. I believe in the honor system. I believe we need more honor in our community. And I could get stabbed in the back of 8,466 more times, and I will still turn around and help Black people because the good outweighs the bad. You know, if I did not help a Vicky Dillard, excuse me, an Yvette Carnell, I never would have met a Vicky Dillard, right? There's plenty of people. If I didn't help out, you know, Amici X, I wouldn't have met an Andre Hatchett. You know, there are some really honorable quality people that I've worked with, that I've supported, and we have a great relationship. You know, if I didn't have the bad, I wouldn't have met great people like Jay Morrison, or, you know, Willie D's my homeboy. You know, it's my buddy. You know, you got lots of other people that I were, Jade Arundel. You know, so Noma Langham with Shally Moses. So my point is to say, you know, working with the Black community and helping people is a little bit like living in the hood. You know, think about this. There's a lot of people who tell you, like, don't live in the hood because Black people will kill you, they'll rob you, you know, so many people get shot up in the hood, you got to get out of the hood. And then there's some people who say, no, I'm gonna go live in the hood, even if that means I might get robbed. You know, I'm gonna live in the hood, even if it means I might get shot. I want to live in my hood, you know. And so that's it. I like working with Black people. And if that makes me a sucker, it makes me a simp, then whatever. Then I'll just be a simp. Of course, you learn. I mean, of course, you discern a little bit more. You know, like I know that there are certain things that in hindsight I would do differently, but it does not mean I wouldn't help people. I have no regrets about helping other people, because I still hold on to the idea that I think Yvette Carnell was a smart lady. I just didn't understand a lot of her strategy. I felt that some of it got to be a little bit destructive, and that's what bothered me a lot. Let me see here. Dr. Boyce, how much money would you need to start living off the interest of your investments? And what's the website again to learn how to trade? You know, it depends. There's no certain amount. You know, it's really about sort of positioning your assets in a certain way. I mean, and understanding the nature of capital. Capital basically is a collection of assets that allows you to live off those assets. So capital could be, you know, 2 cows and 2 apple trees where you drink the milk and you eat the apples, right? So, you know, capital is a complex idea in the sense that it's sort of like, what is it that you have that you can live off of? So if you're living just off your stock investments, that's a little bit tougher to do. You have to have a lot of stock to really live off of your stock investments. You know, because you can't depend on what's called capital gains. Like, you can't depend on the fact that the stock market is going to keep going up, because sometimes it goes down. You've just been very lucky in the last 10 to 15 years. The market has been insanely explosive in the last 10, 15 years. That's why the wealth gap is growing. That's why rich people have so much more money than everyone else, is because rich people, even if they started off poor, they're now rich because they were doing what rich people do. You see, the first step to becoming a rich person is to imitate rich people. If you imitate what rich people do by investing, then you're going to eventually become a rich person if you're consistent with that. You know, like you can't tell me that a person who invests, you know, the same amount of money that we spend on fast food. Like, if you took the amount of money you spend on fast food the last decade, and if you had invested that in stocks consistently, you would have a ton of money in your bank account. Right. So it doesn't mean you can't eat fast food. It just means you got to invest as much as you spend. And so ultimately, going back to your question, the amount of money that you need to live off the interest, it's really hard to say. But then I've seen people that, you know, have small capital bases that live off those bases really well. Like I said, I'm a big believer in entrepreneurship. I believe every Black person should start a business. I talked to a young Black college graduate who's really good in sports or really good as far as like sports commentary and stuff like that. And I said, the number one thing you could do as a Black man is have a business, because that business could feed you. Like, you could spend 20 grand getting a business idea off the ground and make 80 grand off that business for the rest of your life. You know, and that requires you to learn skills that you don't learn in public school or that you don't learn in college, because college teaches you how to get a job. So, but, you know, you go to something like whether it's the Black Business School or Lamar Tyler has a really great program, Traffic, Sales, and Profit. It's not cheap. It's not for people who aren't serious, but you invest that money, he'll show you how to make money, you know, and that's what you want to do. You want to learn stuff like that. You don't learn nonsense. So let's see here. Let's see. How was Ghana? Ghana was great. I love Ghana, and a lot of people going to Ghana. A lot of people are saying they don't want to come back. Meek Mill actually made that announcement the other day. I don't know if y'all saw that. He said he's moving to Africa. I don't know how serious it is, but that's what he said. Hit the thumbs up button, by the way. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please hit the thumbs up button. Thomas, even though I don't use any of my money for my stocks, I plan on handing it off to my children. That's the perfect strategy, because the thing about capital is not supposed to be spent. One of the worst ways to approach investing, in my opinion, is to look at it as, I can't wait for my big payday where I'm gonna cash it all in and get paid. Like, you shouldn't think of it that way. You should think of it as like growing apple trees in your backyard. Like, maybe you'll never cut your trees down. Maybe your goal is to eat some of the apples, but grow as many trees as possible. You don't need to go chop your trees down, or you get cows. You're not really supposed to kill the cows too much. I mean, they get older and you got to kill them, but most of them, you want to keep the cows, like you don't want to kill your capital base. So when you go spend money, what you're doing is you're killing your capital base when you spend money, because what you're doing is you're taking away your ability to survive. It's like chopping down your apple tree or killing your cow and having a really good steak dinner. And then you starve to death because you don't have the animal anymore. You have nothing that can reproduce other cows for you. And you have no milk coming from that cow, because dead cows don't produce milk. So ultimately, it's a matter of not being a complete sellout, like you think about land. If you own that land, you can make money from that land for a very long time. You can rent the land, you can farm the land, you can do all kinds of things with the land. But if you sell the land, you get one big payday and then nothing else after that. So being a sellout is the easiest way to go broke. So don't go selling things out. You hold on to the assets and you let them accumulate. So saving stuff for your children, Thomas, I think is a great strategy, a very good strategy. Now, somebody was asking, where can we learn to invest in stocks and stuff like that? We have something really good in the Black Business School. It's theblackstockmarketprogram.com. THE. That's theblackstockmarketprogram.com. And the code word you can use to get 30% off is podcast. Use the term podcast. You get 30% off. Let's see here. What do you think about the investment app on your phone, like Robinhood? I love them. I have them all. But you can actually buy stocks on Cash App now. So they're making it really easy. Part of the reason I believe that part of what might be driving the growth in the stock market is also the fact that they've made it easier for people to invest. So now a lot of regular people are starting to invest in the stock market, which is increasing demand for stocks, which is pushing prices up. Did you hear Lil Boosie's reparations response on Vlad TV? He didn't even know what the word meant. No diss to Lil Boosie. I mean, I met Lil Boosie's manager. I talked to him for a very long time, and I liked his brother a lot. But let's just be real. Why are we even asking rappers about important political issues or philosophical issues or intellectual issues? You're putting too much pressure on them. I'm not trying to say Lil Boosie can't answer that question, but I know a lot of professors who would do a much better job than Lil Boosie or any rapper out here. Doesn't mean the rappers aren't smart. Doesn't mean rappers don't have something to say, but rappers get to talk a lot on their music. They can go make an album and talk all day about reparations or whatever it is that they believe. But, when you're having these conversations, and I hold Vlad accountable for this. I don't know Vlad that well, but I've been on the show a few times. He called me a few times, and I would hold him accountable to that. Like, stop fucking asking entertainers important issues that are going to shift the trajectory of Black history. Seriously, like ESPN, they're dumbasses. They love to bring on rappers to talk about political issues. Like it's okay if you want to be stupid enough to bring a rapper on to talk about sports. That's bad enough. There's not. I mean, seriously, like why? I saw this the other day. Ice Cube's son was explaining why he believes LeBron James is never going to leave the Lakers. And I'm like, why the fuck do I care about listening to Ice Cube's son analyze the Lakers? Like, no, I want to hear Stephen A analyze the Lakers because he's a sports guy. I want to hear Nick Wright. I want to hear Chris Broussard. I want to hear Jason Whitlock. Somebody, I don't really give a shit what Ice Cube's son thinks about the future of the LA Lakers. He's not a sports guy, man. Seriously. So, let him tell me about hip hop. What's it like to be Ice Cube's son? That's an interesting conversation. Maybe you and your dad have a business together. That's an interesting conversation. You're in the hip hop industry now. What's that like? I want to hear that. I don't want to hear him tell me what the Lakers are going to do next season. That's a wasted conversation. I also didn't want to hear Lil Wayne talk about Black political issues. I don't know if y'all remember that, but he made a complete fool of himself. He went on one of these stupid shows, and again, they pass over all the scholars, they pass over all the intellectuals, they go straight for your rappers and your athletes because they don't respect you as a community. If you ain't rapping or you ain't tap dancing for white folks, twerking, singing, whatever the hell, or playing a sport, then they don't want to hear from you. They don't want to hear from you because you've been typecast. Almost like an actor and actress who is typecast on a show, And they're like, no, we can't see you in any other role because we still see you as Lil Boogie on the show from the 1990s, and you can't get any other roles. Well, black people, you've been typecast. You're either the rapper or the athlete. Either way, you're always the entertainment. They never look to you to be the thinker in the room. And that's why you have so many brilliant black lawyers, doctors, surgeons, business people, black people just doing amazing things that can't get the light of day because they'll go ask an important question from a damn rapper. Again, no diss on Lil Boosie at all. I like Lil Boosie a lot. I really do. I like his manager a lot. We got along. Me and his manager really connected. I was like, okay, it's a good brother. I'm glad he's influencing Boosie, but Boosie ain't the guy to really be analyzing reparations, man. That's like asking me to go make a rap album. How stupid would that look? How stupid would that look if you're like, Dr. Boyce, we want you to tell us what music is going to be in style this year. Is Lizzo talented or not talented? Man, I don't fucking know. Anyway, let me get back to it. Let me shut up. I don't mean to cuss. I apologize. But then again, I must not be sorry because I keep doing it. Okay, let's see here. At the same time, the youth only listen to celebrities. That's true. That's by design. That's by design. They want you listening to the dumbest people in your community so that your community remains stupid. Vlad only interviews ignorant rappers besides Lord Jamar. Yeah, Lord Jamar seems pretty cool. I don't know much about him, but he seems like a smart guy. I don't know him personally, but he seems okay. What book are you currently reading? I'm usually actually reading Powernomics. I got this book today. My brother recommended it, by Bill Walsh, actually a white dude who used to coach the 49ers. It's a leadership book. And my brother said, I think you would like that book. So I got it because whenever my brother tells me I would like a book, I listen to him because he's like the smartest person I know. Chase, Dr. Boyce, what cryptocurrencies are you invested in? I don't know. I got like 50 of them. I got some, I want to call it Riddlin, but it's not. It's Ripple. That's right. Ripple and Bitcoin and I forgot. I literally have like 50 different currencies, and I actually have to go check my portfolio because I haven't checked it. I just bought it and said, okay, I'm gonna just hold it. I got assets over here. I'm not gonna mess with it because I think the crypto industry is so, much in its primitive state. I just really think that it's got a lot of developing to do before it becomes a fully functioning market. XRP, there we go. I've been thinking about buying a block someday in an urban area of my city. Says Lee, good for you. And I want to get a group of people together to grow some produce on that block. How should I begin this process? Maybe start an investment club. Get some people to join your investment club. That'd be a good way to go. Boyce, you can make a rap record. Rap is very simple now. I'm sure there is a formula. Absolutely. What would be a profitable business that focuses on the black community? I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. Black people spend $1.3 trillion and we spend that 1.3 trillion on a lot of things, right? Everything from clothes we wear to deodorant to socks. And, a lot of people make most of the money from simple stuff. They don't make it from complex things. Have I ever listened to Dr. Dilbert Blair? No, I do not know who that is. Sorry. Okay. Apparently Alicia does. Apparently some Negro in the peanut gallery does. All right. I will let you educate me on Dr. Dilbert Blair tonight, babe. Because Alicia says Dr. Dilbert Blair is awesome. So Conquest Media, Junglistic, you do have a fan in the house. So I will be educated on that. And I apologize. I apologize to Dr. Blair for not knowing his name or her. Is it a he? Oh, he passed on. Okay. Well, yeah, Ashe. I didn't know. I feel I'm a little embarrassed by that. Hello from Australia. All right. Skywatch is paid member of the Black Business School. All right. Well, thank you very much for your love and support and being a part of what we're doing. If you have any issues with the Black Business School, any challenges at all, just email support@theblackbusinessschool.com. That's support@theblackbusinessschool.com. We have a great customer service team. We want to make sure you're very, very happy. So, if you want to bring your children in or anything like that, we guarantee satisfaction. So if you're not happy for any reason, we give you your money back or we make it right. Whatever it takes, we want to make you happy. So just give us a shot. Go check it out. We're better. We do it better than the white guys do. We do it better than everybody. We educate black people better than anybody on the planet. What book is Alicia? Hey, babe, what book are you reading? Okay, she's reading many books. She's an avid reader. She's a professor, Smart black women are the shit, in case you didn't know. Do you know anything about coding at all? I took a basic coding class many years ago, but I'm not really, literally basic, like the language basic. Speak on the legal status of the adjective black. I have no clue. I don't know anything about that. You gave so much free game on those 5 courses, says Sherlock. Yeah, we give some things away for free to show you that we know what we're talking about. And then what we do is we ask you to make an investment in yourself, and not to spend money. We ask you to make an investment. Investment is not spending money. Investing is making money. And so basically what we ask you guys to consider is taking a look. If you go to the Black Business School, theblackbusinessschool.com, talk to one of our people and make an investment. We have Black Money 101, an introduction to the power of money, Black Money 102, how to invest in the stock market. We got 103 all the way up through 106. We have the Black Millionaire Factory, which is the program that I created with attorney Nicole Compton. So we got a lot of good stuff there. Plus we have books and flashcards and all kinds of tools, just really great stuff. So feel free to check it out. How did Medellin, Colombia, and how was Medellin? Or how did you enjoy it? Okay, did you visit the restaurants? Yes, I love Medellin. It is a wonderful place. Recommended San Carbon and Las Palmas. Yeah, my brother probably knows about all those places. I don't know everything about Medellin. How do you apply to the Black Business School in Johannesburg? We'll let you know. Until then, email support@theblackbusinessschool.com. Let them know that you're interested, and send over your information, and I'll make sure Norma Langer gets it. Let's see here. Hello, Boyce. My question is, how long do I have to finish one of your business subjects, says Margaret. Actually, Margaret, we decided that offering classes was a little limited. Like, you think about it, when you go to college, you're in class for 16 weeks, and then your teacher says, okay, all right, good luck, have a nice life, and I was like, well, what if you wanted more? What if you wanted to keep talking to your teacher for years or months or however long you want to, so I think learning should be based on more membership based rather than just sort of this finite class. Because if it's something that you really do for a living, something that you want to really do, and apply, it should have continuing learning, continued learning process. So basically what we do in some of our programs, it depends. Some of our programs are finite. You can go in, get out, pay one fee and be done. But some of them are actually based on a membership style framework that says, look, as long as you're a member, you're part of this group, you can come to the meetings, you can ask questions, you can go through the material, you can take your time, go through it at whatever pace you want, and learn over time. So we've actually had, for example, our kids program, which is at blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. We have an excellent Black business school for children at blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. A lot of our kids in that program have been in there since, they're like 10 years old. They've been in there since they were 5 or since they were 6. And it's because basically every year, these concepts, which actually are the same sorts of things that a lot of adults don't know. They just, every time they relearn them, they actually learn them at a different level and in a different way and apply them in a different way. So let's see, does Black Millionaires of Tomorrow have live classes? Not yet, Ms. Crawford. We are working on that. We're really looking for the right kinds of teachers that can help us deliver the curriculum in a way that makes that compels people to want to participate. Sometimes that's the catch. That's the challenge too, is really laying it out in a way that really suits the needs of the parents that are considering the program, so they'll want to do it. So we're actually really happy when you guys give us feedback and you say, this is what we want, this is how we want it, because then we can put that together and then we do a trade, right? You support us, we support you, everybody wins. So we are working on that. Actually, we're looking for teachers right now, and we're experimenting with some actual live classes in Philadelphia. That's the next step. Now, do they go with the workbooks? They do match the workbooks. The workbooks are at financialworkbooks.com. That's financialworkbooks.com. And if you go to financialworkbooks.com, you'll find packets for different grade levels. So we have workbooks and flashcards. And I believe deeply in workbooks and flashcards because that's an easy way to teach your children important wealth principles that will make a huge difference in their lives, and it doesn't take a lot of time. Also, we have these cool calendars we made. I don't know if I told you guys about that. But if you go to blackfinancialcalendars.com, the Black Financial Calendar, THE, don't forget the THE, theblackfinancialcalendar.com. You can actually take a look at that. Let's see. What do you think about McDonald's discriminating against Blacks? I don't know anything about it. I mean, I didn't read anything about it. I wouldn't want to work at McDonald's, but there are people that own McDonald's restaurants and stuff. I don't even think owning a McDonald's franchise is all that it's cracked up to be. There used to be some people really wanted to do, but I wouldn't do it if I will pick something else. When is the event at Medgar Evers College? That's the All Black National Convention. That's going to be mid-October. So it's going to be Medgar Evers College in Brooklyn. I'm 25 years old living in France, and I wish to be a writer. Do you think this is a good long-term choice in terms of making money? Yeah, well, Gandhi, if you learn business, you can figure out the business model behind anything that you do. So everything has a business model. I mean, comedy has a business model. Writing obviously has a business model. Singing has a business model. Dancing has a business model. Art has a business model. So if you're a person that really wants to get ahead in your field, you're always better, in my opinion, if you either learn the business model behind what you're doing, or you work with people who know the business model, who are only thinking about the business model. Like if Beyonce didn't have people around her who understood business, then she'd just be another singer. We got a million singers out here. We got a million people that can dance and run up and down the stage and all that other stuff. But how do you monetize that? So knowing the business model helps you to monetize your craft, monetize your skill. And that's one of the things I think we're able to really help you with, so that you can at least make enough of a living. Sometimes you don't get rich. Sometimes you get rich. Sometimes you don't. But getting rich, I found, is not as important to people as simply being able to make a living doing what they love. I think if you do that, then you're happy, and that's it. Still, thank you very much, actually, for your donation, Margaret. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. That really helps us to grow the platform. Let's see here. What tricks will the liberals use to get black people to vote this year, and should we be concerned? They'll probably use fear. Politics, political research shows that fear is a great motivator to get people to vote for your candidate. So sure, they could tell you all the reasons why their candidate's the best, but actually the easiest way to get people to vote for you is to actually scare the shit out of them. And so that's what they're going to do. They're going to scare you. They're going to basically say, if we let Trump get reelected, the world's going to come to an end, which, I mean, you got a war with Iran out there, right? So it's not like it's an unreasonable argument, right? Because Trump is kind of the guy you don't want to have access to an entire arsenal of nuclear weapons. But yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be fair. And am I afraid? No, I'm not afraid. I mean, you got to stick to your guns and make a decision. Are you going to demand something for your vote or not? And I just basically decided I am going to demand something for my vote, period. Were you able to talk to any Black Colombians? No, not yet, but I will. I mean, a couple, but I want to go to, I think it's called Choco, where the Black people live. I'm going to go there next time. Leaving Chicago and moving to Radcliffe, Kentucky. Any advice? Don't go. Ooh, you poor thing. Wow, man. I feel bad for you, Sharice. I don't know, but maybe Radcliffe has a lot going on I don't know anything about. Let's see here. I get so many emails from the Democrats. It's crazy. Oh, wow. You must have signed up for a list. Number one, can make you vote yay or nay, be woke and informed. OMG, I missed him speaking on opportunity zones. I didn't talk about opportunity zones, not today. So Obama was a constitutional professor and said that per law, Black has no standing in law. Really? He said that? Oh, okay. I'm kind of surprised. Obama's a smart dude. I heard about them possibly putting him on the Supreme Court. I think that would be good for the country. I mean, would it be good for Black people? I don't see Obama as a guy that has or will do a whole lot for Black people. I'm gonna tell you the truth. But for America, I think he's all right. I think he forced the LGBT stuff down people's throats a little bit. I don't like that. I think that's a little bit too much. But I think he's smart, and I think he's not all bad. But he's not all good either. A lot of people think he's the Black baby Jesus, and I just don't agree with that. I think that he's just a politician. Mr. Watkins, this is Dr. Asiatique, Black, too strong, mega blast. What are your thoughts and advice on MDOC prison issues in Mississippi? Man, I could talk about the prisons all day long. The state of the prisons in America bothers me a lot, and it bothers me so much that I really think that I'm just not interested in voting until they go back and clean up the messes that they made with the prisons up until this point. Everybody wants to run around talking about immigrants and being separated from their children at the border when they're trying to break into the country illegally. I get all that, but I don't want to hear about none of that until you address the tens of thousands of political prisoners you have taken from the Black community who are still separated from their kids to this day. You got tens of thousands of Black people in prison right now on bullshit charges. Some of them locked up for weed. And white men are making money off weed. And you got, and you're not going back and cleaning up your mess. Like, do you really think you could just start over fresh as if the past never happened? No, you got to go back and clean up the mess. Like, and I don't want to hear. You know what? I love it. God bless Kim Kardashian for her, one-offs that she's doing, getting one person out of jail at a time. I know a lot of people have an issue with Kim. I don't. I think she's doing what she can, and I respect that. Or maybe she's doing something. I respect that. Most reality stars ain't doing shit. But I don't want to hear about one-offs anymore. I don't want to hear about symbolic cases. I want them to go and get 50,000 people out of jail right now. I want them to go announce they're going to review, 250,000 cases for nonviolent drug offenders and kill their sentences now, like where they're going to get to go home to their families tomorrow. Like, that's what I want to hear. I want to see something big. I don't care about one case out of a million, or, everybody got caught up in the Central Park 5, right? That was bad, terrible, right? But that was one story. Do you know how many times that's happened? How many other thousands of times that has occurred? And you'll never hear about those stories because somehow we thought we made progress because we talked about one person's story, or one story from one group of people, one group of guys. And you don't realize that this has happened probably 50,000 times. I'm into solutions. I'm into solving problems. I'm into acting on things, moving forward. I'm not into this whole symbolism. It doesn't do anything for me. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here, guys. If you want to know more about the live stream for this weekend, we're going to do a great wealth weekend in New Orleans. It's sold out, so you can't come to the actual event. So if you're in New Orleans, I'm sorry, I'll try to maybe have a book signing or something, but I can't. I can't bring anybody else into the event. But if you'd like to join us via live stream, it's going to be really good. Myself, Julian Gordon, my brother Lawrence, and also attorney Nicole Compton. We're going to talk about everything from digging deep into the real estate arena, owning properties, particularly income generating rental properties, to the tenets of wealth building and investing. Attorney Nicole Compton is going to talk about trust and estate planning. And Lawrence is going to talk about a lot of things he's learned in terms of monetization, things like that. He's a smart guy. He went to Cornell University. So if you'd like to join and participate in that, you can go to drboyceneworleans.com. That's drboyceneworleans.com. You can get the live stream there by joining our lecture series. So just join the lecture series. You can get the first month free. And you can check out the live stream this weekend for our wealth weekend. Also, we're going to start with Boyce Watkins Films. We're going to start doing what we call Black Movie Night in the Black Business School. This is why I want you to sign up at the Black Business School, because we're going to have a Black Movie Night once a month where we're going to feature a Black film and we're going to show it online. We're going to show it digitally, screen it digitally, and then we're going to have a conversation afterward with the filmmakers, because I told you guys, we need our own Black Hollywood. We need to have our own stuff. I don't care about Netflix. I care about Quayle TV, which I don't own Quayle TV, but I know the sister who does, and I love her. We don't need to talk about, the Black Panther 2. That's a Disney movie. I want to talk about Hidden Colors. I want to talk about Marcus Small and his great film, The Melanin Code. I want to talk about Mark Harris, who's coming through on our Black Movie Night, who's made great films like Black and Privileged and some other films. Like, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about, Raheem Shabazz. I want to talk about Rick Mathis. I want to talk about Dorian Chandler. I want to talk about Tierra KJ Williams. I want us to produce, our jewels, our gold, our diamonds. You know what I mean? Like, I want us mass producing, our experts, our own movie stars. Like, I don't really care about people going off to Hollywood and getting co-signed by a bunch of racist white people. That does nothing for me. It does nothing for you. Let's build our own. That's what we can do. That's what I believe. So that's what we're going to do. So the Black Movie Night, I'll make an announcement when we do one. And once again, some of you are asking about the kids programs. Our business school for children, in case you have children, you'd like to get them started. We actually give out little degrees that your child can pick up all these things. You can go to blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. That's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. So I'm out of here, guys. And also don't forget Blag Enough too. That's our social media platform. So it's always on my shirt. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a good night, and I will see you soon. Thanks for hanging out. Be good. Peace.